in documenting the war crimes. This morning with the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court and also by video conference with the prosecutor of Ukraine, we discussed about the situation. We will support both prosecutors financially and with our team in the ground. The European Union Advisory Mission, who was in Ukraine before the war, now will be deployed in order to cooperate with the Ukrainian General Prosecutor to ensure investigation and collection of evidence in the ground. On sanctions, we continue discussing about how to implement these sanctions to avoid any kind of loopholes. We measure the impact that these sanctions are having on the Russian economy, and we will continue discussing in order to see what else can be done. Nothing is off the table, including sanctions on oil and gas, but today no decision was taken, just a general discussion analyzing the figures. It's important to make the difference between oil and gas. Last year, 2021, the bill for oil imports was 4 times bigger than the bill for gas. We're talking about 80,000 million in one side and 20 on the other side. So it's very much important to start with the oil, which is a heavy bill and easier to replace. We analyze that this is an asymmetric shock to the European member states because it affects in a very much different way, both from the point of view of people asking for asylum, refugees, and from the point of energy. Certainly, on the eastern part of Europe, the pressure of the refugees is much bigger than on the west part of Europe. And the energy issues are much more important in Central Europe than in the west part of Europe. This is a pure asymmetric shock, and it has to be managed combining unity and solidarity. It's easy for some member states that are not using Russian gas to say that they are ready to not use Russian gas. But for others, which are heavily dependent, it's not so easy. Everybody has taken conscience of the big risk of this strong dependency on energy, and we have to fight in order to decrease this dependency as quick as possible, developing renewables and looking for other suppliers, but mainly building a strategic autonomy, European autonomy on energy, and this has a name, renewables, hydrogen. It's going to take time, but the fight against climate change and our geopolitical constraints are going hand in hand. We also discuss about the thing that worries us a must, which is the coming Russian offensive in the east. The Russian aggression against Ukraine has 2 words to be qualified. First, failure. It's a big failure of the Russian army. They tried to conquer Kiev and they have been rejected. Now they have abandoned Kiev. They see that it's impossible for them to take the capital. And they are regrouping their troops on the east, and the Ukrainians are very much convinced that they are going to launch a big offensive in the Donbass, nearby their logistic bases.
And have a nice evening. Merci, Monsieur Borrell. Merci à nos interprètes.